Hi, everyone. This is Lety. Welcome back to our quiet little corner tonight or today, wherever you are. I invite you to settle in, take a slow, deep breath, and let your shoulders relax. Tonight, I want to talk about something quietly powerful, something that is sometimes hidden beneath the surface of our busy days, but it shapes everything we do, everything we feel. In every relationship we build, it's about becoming the parent you once needed, about healing your inner child, about choosing kindness for yourself and for the next generation. As children, many of us grew up longing for things we could not name at the time. Maybe you remember wishing for someone to listen to your worries, to understand the things you couldn't say out loud, to hold you just a little bit closer on the days you made mistakes. Maybe, like me, you learned to shrink yourself, to be good, to be quiet, to be not too much, because that was safer. That was how you survived sometimes. We carry wounds we don't even realize are there. A harsh word from a parent who was tired, a look of disappointment that cut deeper than any punishment. The silence when we needed comfort the most, we internalize those moments. We build stories about who we are and what we deserve, and slowly, almost without noticing, we become adults still longing for the love and safety we missed. But here's the quiet, beautiful truth every single day. We have a chance to do things differently, to break the cycle, to rewrite the story, to become the parent, the gentle, loving, patient, real parent we always wish we'd had. I want you to imagine, just for a moment, that your inner child, the little you who still lives inside, who still remembers what it felt like to be afraid, to be overlooked, to want to be seen and loved, what would they say to you now? Would they ask for kindness? For understanding? For someone to say, "It's okay to be sad, I'm here for you." Maybe they just want you to sit with them, no judgment. No rush to fix or change anything, just presence, just love. I've realized through all the years of growing and stumbling and healing, that so much of being a good parent, whether to a child or to yourself, is not about being perfect. It's about being present. It's about choosing love again and again, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard, let's talk about what that looks like. Maybe it's listening to your child even when you're tired. When you've had a long day and all you want is a few moments of silence, but you choose to listen anyway, you put down your phone. You make eye contact. You let them know, "I see you, I hear you. You matter to me." Maybe it's replacing "stop crying" with "I know you're upset. It's okay to feel this way." And here, maybe it's holding them a little closer when they make a mistake, because you remember what it felt like to be pushed away when you needed love the most. Maybe it's taking a breath when you want to yell and choosing patience instead. Maybe it's saying, "I'm sorry," when you lose your temper, showing them that grown-ups can make mistakes too, and that apologizing is a strength, not a weakness. These are the small, everyday choices that begin to heal not just your child, but the child inside you. I think of all the times I wished for understanding instead of anger, for comfort instead of criticism, and I realize now that every time I choose to give my own child or any child what I once needed, I am also healing myself. Sometimes the most important thing we can do is to create safety, not fear, to be a gentle place to land instead of a source of anxiety. And when your child says, "I'm scared," don't dismiss it. Remember the loneliness of having your fears brushed aside. Remember how much it would have meant if someone had just listened, had just held your hand and said, I understand. When your child argues with you, take a breath, pause, remember how much you wanted once to simply be heard, to know that your feelings were real and valid, even if they were inconvenient when your child makes a mistake. Before you react, remember all the times you were punished for being human, all the times you felt shame instead of support, and then choose differently, choose compassion. Healing a generation begins with you, with every kind word, every patient moment, every time you say, "I'm proud of you," or "I love you." You are rewriting this story for yourself and for your child. And don't forget, the little one inside you is always watching, cheering you on, smiling every time you choose love over anger, connection over control, understanding over pride. You're not just raising a child, you're healing yourself, you're healing generations. Sometimes I wish someone had told me years ago that I didn't have to be perfect to be loved, that mistakes are part of being human, that needing comfort or being afraid or having big feelings is not something to be ashamed of. If you're listening right now and you feel that ache in your chest, that old loneliness, that wish for something softer, gentler, kinder, you're not alone. It's never too late to become the parent you needed, even if your children are grown. Even if you don't have children of your own, you can still choose to be gentle with yourself. You can still choose to speak kindly, to listen, to forgive. What would you have wanted to hear as a child? Maybe you longed for someone to say, "You're enough, just as you are." Or maybe you wished for someone to hold you and say, "It's okay. You don't have to carry this alone." Give those words to yourself now. Whisper them in your heart, and then share them with the people you love. There's a little you inside, waiting to be seen, to be cherished, waiting for you to show up. Not with perfection, but with presence. And when you do, you change everything. You change the future. You break the cycle. So tonight, or whenever you're listening, I want you to remember you are enough. You are worthy of love, of patience, of gentleness. And every time you choose to give those things to yourself, to your children, to anyone, you're healing a part of the world that needed it the most. I know. Some days it feels heavy. Some days the old patterns come back. Maybe you snap or say something you wish you could take back. But that's okay. Forgiveness is part of healing too. Apologize. If you need to, show your child that it's okay to be human, that grown-ups are learning. 2, that's how trust is built, not through perfection, but through honesty, vulnerability, and repair. We pay. Maybe you didn't grow up with the words, "I'm proud of you," or "I love you no matter what." But you can give those words now. To yourself, to your children. Maybe your parents were doing the best they could. With what they knew, maybe they were carrying their own wounds, fighting their own battles. But you right now have the chance to do things differently, to slow down, to listen, to choose softness. Imagine the little you standing beside you, watching, learning, hoping you can choose to love them, to protect them, to tell them, "You're safe with me." And when you do that for yourself, you naturally do it for others too. I know it isn't easy. I know the old voices, the old fears, they come back sometimes. But every small choice matters. Every time you pause instead of react. Every time you choose to comfort instead of criticize. Every time you hug a little longer, listen a little deeper, breathe a little slower. That's healing. That's what changes generations. So tonight, let's promise to be gentle with ourselves. Let's promise to try. Even when it's hard, let's be the parent, the friend, the gentle soul that our younger selves always wished for. It's okay if you're still learning. It's okay if you don't always get it right. You're already enough. Your love, your presence, your willingness to keep trying, these are the gifts that matter most. And as you move through this journey, remember your inner child is cheering you on. They're so proud of you. Every time you choose love, thank you for listening, for sharing this moment with me. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who needs a little gentleness tonight. And always remember, you are not alone. You are worthy, and you are loved. This is Lety sending you warmth, patience, and a big, gentle hug. Until next time, stay gentle, stay brave, and be the parent you once needed.